quarter-finals rather than simply going through the motions. Confidence is the key word here. Far better to maintain the tempo, the spirit that's lifted them to such exceptional heights already. And while Lazio here, well, their minds might not be fully focused after their Champions League demise, the Italian champions will find David O'Leary's team, I'm sure, determined to end on a real high. Full house at Ellen Road will help the home team with that objective. Competition for places is another incentive too, with major assignments around the corner, not only in Europe but domestically too, of course, for the finale to the league season. And with the pressure eased somewhat by early qualification for the next phase of the Champions League, it's a wonderful opportunity for Leeds to underline their blossoming quality with a 5-star performance. As for Lazio, well, there's no point pretending this match is high on their list of priorities at the moment. They have what's become now a far more significant fixture ahead, a crucial Serie A game against Juventus next weekend that will surely decide whether or not they stay in the title race. Leeds' superb win in Rome was the turning point, really, of the group. Lino's off, Lazio's coach, I know, was very impressed by Leeds that night. He wasn't in charge then, Eriksson was. And of course, the two back-to-back wins over Anderlecht that followed for Leeds, along with Lazio's own failure to take more than a single point from their two games with Real, determined the destiny of the group. Take a check on the teams. Leeds themselves on at full strength. Alan Smith and Eric Bakker won't start as they're both a yellow card away from missing the quarter-final. Rio Ferdinand is rested, along with Olivier Decor and David Batty. Viduka there up front with Harry Kewell then. Jason Wilcox on the flank. Radaby's out injured, so Matteo switches to centre-half alongside Danny Mills. Lee Bowyer and Gary Kelly are back, so is Paul Robinson. And Jacob Burns and Alan Mabry have rare starts in midfield. It might be Lazio's B string, but some familiar names all the same. Among them, Fabrizio Ravanelli, once from Middlesbrough fame, of course. Nedved, Mihailovic, Stankovic and Fernando Couto are all established internationals. And up front, well, Claudio Lopez. He's the man who helped inspire Valencia's surge to last season's final, continuing now his comeback from long-term injury. Among the subs for Leeds will be D'accord and Batty and Nigel Martin too there on the bench. Lazio have left many of their stars at home, but can't call all the same on two of the world's most expensive strikers there in Salas and Crespo. The officials are from Austria. The referee tonight is Konrad Plautz. Well, Mark Viduka was simply magnificent in the first meeting back in December, as accomplished an exhibition of centre-forward play I think I've seen for some time. Lopez of Lazio, well, he poses different problems with his extraordinary pace and stealth, but like Harry Kewell of Leeds, he's getting back to full fitness, and it is a gradual process. We're all set then in front of what looks to be a full house at Ellen Road. Chess pumped out on the strength of their Champions League prowess. It's a proud, proud night for Leeds as they get us underway. One last task then to perform before they await eagerly Friday's quarter-final draw. No question, Jim Beglin, they will want to go out on a high note here, and a notable double over the champions of Italy.
Without a doubt, Peter, they'll want to win the match. Leeds have got a good momentum going now, despite the loss in Madrid. And, you know, even with the changes in personnel, I still think they're equipped to give Lazio a tough time of it tonight. And I think David O'Leary will just want them to express and enjoy.
This is Nedved, the first strike of the night. Very much a fixture in the senior Lazio team is Nedved. Here's Stankovic, then Ravanelli to Nedved. Nedved, who was shining brightly for Lazio even during their rocky spell earlier in the season. He really is such a key player for them, and attracting a lot of interest too from English clubs, including Manchester United and Chelsea, we hear.
Well, you mentioned Viduka that night in Rome, and yes, he was sensational that night, but Nedved was Lazio's best player without a doubt. He was the only one on the night that looked like doing something for the Rome side.
This is Baronio. Now Claudio Lopez. Pavel Nedved. It looks as if he's going to have a more or less central role, maybe in support of Ravanelli, who's making a dart through the centre here. Ravanelli, who had a controversial year, let's say, at Middlesbrough. The challenge then from Baronio. And here's Pesaresi, another of the Frenchmen, just tidying things up. Marcogiani is actually the #1 keeper at the moment because Peruzzi is out injured. Very experienced player, 35 now, former Italian international. Ravanelli. Here's Wilcox. He'll be relishing this opportunity. On by Kuhl, a beautifully weighted pass too. He's got Bowyer arriving in the middle, just too close to Marcogiani. So bright movement there by Leeds.
Well, just one thing to note already, Peter. Lee Bowyer is inside in the middle where he likes to be. I think Mabry will hug the right, and Gary Kelly, of course, is playing right back. I think the caption before was slightly misleading.
Here's Bowyer, putting his off-the-field problems behind him, for the moment anyway. There's Mabry making the surge through, all the mix up on the back. Fernando Couto on a different wavelength there to Marcogiani. Very casual, too casual. Sent off at the weekend, Fernando Couto. That was the turning point in their defeat by Bologna, Lazio. Leeds, of course, had Oreste. Harry Kuhl. Well, they say it'll be some time before Kuhl is back to full fitness. But no doubt about it, Jim, he gives them an extra touch of flair, that extra bit of panache when he plays.
Well, he says himself he's not going to be at his best till he gets a good pre-season under his belt next season and can take it on from there. I'll tell you what, we saw some very good signs last week at the Bernabeu as well. He still looks lively, even though he's not 100% yet.
Stankovic to Pesaresi. Strong tackling here by Bowyer. He's got 5 goals in the Champions League this season. It really has been a revelation, despite all his problems. Arsenal are through to the quarter-finals to join Leeds and Manchester United. Bayern Munich beating them 1-0, but Lyon failed to win in Moscow. That finished 1-1. This is the Australian Jacob Burns, who's had 1 or 2 outings this season, including against Real Madrid here when Leeds were a little depleted. And Dacour didn't play that evening, and that was crucial, I think, with no disrespect to Burns. Ravanelli, the silver fox. This is Colonnesi. Now Castroman is very lively, this fellow, very quick. An Argentine who arrived earlier this year from Vélez Sarsfield, back in his home country. And he gave Roberto Carlos a bit of a roasting in the Real game, the second one. Fernando Couto, who will certainly pose a threat in the air. So a test here for Robinson on his return to the Leeds senior team. Now the break is on for Kuhl here. And that's a foul by the Leeds man.
I think he asked a lot of himself, Harry Kuhl, then. Support was coming quickly, but trying to take his man on, he left himself too much to do. Just a little nudge in the end.
Shove on Pesaresi, former Sampdoria player. He's hardly had a look in really with Lazio. Here's Fernando Couto, hit long towards Ravanelli, and Robinson is there. His first start since January, the young goalkeeper. And of course he'll be keen to catch the eye of Tord Grip, Sven-Göran Eriksson's #2, who is watching from the stands tonight.
Well, that was maybe just a little too early. He put Gary Kelly in trouble there and gestured a little hand of apology.
Lopez has come short here to offer himself. Now Pesaresi looking to take on Kelly and Mabry. Mabry involved for the first time this season for Leeds. An Irish international. Here's Stankovic. What a good ball too, but the flag's up against Ravanelli, but he'd ghosted into space there for a moment.
Well, he did, but I thought the linesman got that one right. I thought he went just a little bit early, but it was well spotted by Stankovic. In fact, as is often the case, we look at it again and he was onside when it was played.
Viduka. been back into scoring form lately. Including one away to Anderlecht, away to Real, and of course against Manchester United too, after he'd gone through a bit of a barren spell. Claudio Lopez. Here's Castroman. Chance to show his pace maybe. He's very nifty too, still Castroman. And then Ravanelli. Didn't really look too interested there. And Leeds survive.
Well, if Ian Hart didn't know it already, he knows it now. Castroman relies heavily on his pace.
Harry Kewell will have a go from here. Decent try. Hasn't scored for nearly a year now, but then of course he's hardly played.
That was a decent attempt. I think it was quite central, really. He didn't quite get it on as much as he would have liked, I think, on his left side, and he's just dragged that all the way.
A bright start to the game. It's an open contest so far, as we have been hoping for.
I think you're going to get that. I'm sure Dino's off with a set of his players coming in as well to, you know, relax, enjoy it, and go out and play with a little bit of flair. Pass it and move and enjoy it.
We have been turning things around, certainly in Serie A. 7 wins in the first 8 games after he took over from Sven-Göran Eriksson. But then came the slip up against Bologna at the weekend, and it's a big, big blow to their championship aspirations, their hopes of defending their title. This is Gary Kelly, who's wearing the armband for Leeds tonight. The absence of Radaby. Baronio snapping in with a tackle, but again Ravanelli, although he's furious, he is offside. He's going to be in trouble here if he doesn't keep quiet. He was never shy of having an opinion, Ravanelli.
Never. Certainly in his Borough days. Not great for morale at times, but I think he was off then. He might have had a case last time, but not there.
I was reading this week he wants to go back to Middlesbrough. What Brian Robson makes of that. Stan Collymore wants a testimonial from Oviedo. This is Wilcox now. Just teasing Castroman. He's got Ian Hart in support if he needs him. Good foraging here by Wilcox. Now there's danger. And he might have done better there, Bowyer. He knows what a good chance that was, created by Leeds with their ingenuity.
That was very well worked. Good work by Wilcox down the left, came inside, just flicked it in for Viduka. A little peel off from Bowyer, and he was just leaning back as he struck it and consequently got it high. Just as laid back, he's just kind of leans back a touch and underneath it.
Wilcox, who set up that opportunity. Ian Hart aiming for Kewell, moving up front again by Leeds. Oh, you have made another of those surges through the middle. But here's Nedved now on the break. And Lopez. Matthew's got with him. Again, underlining his versatility, Matthew, as he switches to the back four tonight. Seems to be alternating between midfield and central defence. He's played at left back as well. Mihailovic, who's lost his regular place in the Lazio team at the moment. Zoff has preferred mainly Fernando Couto alongside Nesta, who's one of those out injured tonight. Ravanelli won't get there before Mills.
He's not happy again. He's having another little moan about something. I think he felt maybe there was a slight nudge from Danny Mills as he challenged for the ball.
But his endeavour is refreshing, Jim. I mean, he hasn't come here to play in a lacklustre fashion, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, you've made the point already, Peter. There's a lot of guys, both on the Leeds side and the Lazio side tonight, that, you know, have to impress. I'm delighted at the chance, and I'm pleased with the tempo we've seen. There's urgency in both sides at the moment, and it's good to see. I think it's helping the game to flow nicely, and I think it will be open.
Little altercation here between Mihailovic and Harry Kewell. No love lost there. Mihailovic, who we hear is on his way out from Lazio. Even the fans there have turned against him.
Well, he's suspect temperamentally as well. As I remember in Euro 2000, he got sent off against Slovenia.
It was Kewell trying to thread it on. Fernando Couto and Baronio sorting out the problem. Decent player, this fellow Baronio. He can't get in the Lazio team too often, but he is the Italian Young Player of the Year. He was outstanding last season for Regina on loan. That comes Castroman. It's certainly eye-catching until that moment. Vying with Poborski, more regular place down the right for Lazio. Poborski, who is cup-tied. Very nice. It's dancing away from Wilcox. Fernando Couto. Here's Nedved. He's off on a run here too, Nedved. Good covering though by Dominic Matteo, who's pledged his allegiance now then to Scotland, despite overtures from Sven-Goran Eriksson. What I was hearing, he would have picked him had he made himself available. Because he has already played for Scotland in a friendly. Wilcox here will be hoping to win favour back with England in due course now that he's fit again. And a lot of problems with injuries, Wilcox. He was a little late there with a challenge on Castroman, the 20-year-old Argentine, who's given Leeds plenty to think about in this early phase. Leeds have never lost to an Italian team here. Ravanelli's old club Juventus, the last to even score here some 30 years ago. This is Pesaresi. He won't be altering that statistic.
Definitely not. That was very ambitious, to say the least. Must have been about 35, 40 yards out. And his coach didn't look too pleased about that one either.
How can you tell? He never smiles. Gary Kelly. Back in the fold now after injury. Robinson having to evade the challenge there. Pretty sharpish. Getting away from Lopez. Wilcox. Good tidy play here by Leeds again. Maduka. Good cohesion. Almost got Bowyer, and then maybe Maduka in. But their approach play has been neat and tidy.
That's nice. It's nice and bright. It's quick, it's into feet. That's the way to unlock defences.
Mills. Who seems equally at home in the centre of the back line as he does on the flanks. Matteo. Now Kelly. There comes Viduka. But he's gifted possession now to Dejan Stankovic. Lopez, he's onside. And he's quick, but he's not that quick. Lopez, who's been out since November until his recent return. Could be Bartes here.
That was cool. I mean, knew what he was doing all along. You just have to hope that the attacker is completely committed, and Lopez was.
Now, was that a trip? Referee says play on. But Colonnese a little lucky, maybe. Free header then for Matteo. On by Wilcox to Kuhl. Another crunching tackle from Colonnese. He's going to be in trouble surely for that. Dreadful tackle.
Stupid. I mean, they've had a couple of little altercations already, and that was ridiculous. Harry Kuhl's laid it off, and he's come right through him, and got to see a yellow brandish for that.
Well, he's obviously keen to do well. He doesn't get too many starts, Colonnese. Indeed, the game against Anderlecht was his first under Zoff. That's no way to impress. Pesaresi. Colonnese, who is the former Roma and Inter defender, with a reputation for being a little uncompromising with his tackling, and he's reminded us of that.
Just a bit. There's no need. I mean, you know, early in a game like this as well, there's nothing particularly at stake. He doesn't have to resort to things like that. Now he's got to watch himself.
Mills with Kelly. On by Bowyer, but that's good anticipation by Stankovic. Who feels he can't be at his best for Lazio, he doesn't play often enough. One of the unsettled players at the club. It's good distribution by Baronio to locate Pesaresi, then Nedved. Lazio spraying it around here, and it's Ravanelli now. Casterman's come in field, he should have stayed where he was.
Just been watching those, they were trying to build that attack. Lopez, I think Mills and Matteo are going to have to stay in touch big time where he's concerned, because his pace is frightening. And he goes diagonally across the line as well, you know, he's not running, so he's going to get cut offside easily.
Here's Burns. Now Wilcox, can he deliver from here? Kiddle's arrived in the middle with Viduka, still Wilcox. Three waiting for the cross now for Leeds. Finally it's in from Hart, and a little too near to Marcagiani. Only Ravanelli right upfield for Lazio. Lopez was lurking with intent though. He's got 5 goals in the Champions League, Lopez, even though he's hardly featured because of injury. Got 3 in one game against Shakhtar Donetsk. Yeah, that was clumsy. Unnecessary too, really, from Matteo. On Ravanelli, who made sure the referee didn't miss it.
Well, it wasn't quite as bad as Colonese's before, but again, there's no need for this, because he's got Ravanelli boxed where he wants him, back to go. Don't have to make the tackle.
Again, they've posted up Fernando Couto. Ravanelli certainly no slouch in the air. A bit of jostling going on with Dominic Matteo, seen by the Austrian referee. He's certainly up for this game, Ravanelli. Fernando Couto making his presence felt. Mihailovic, who can be so dangerous on set pieces. Looking to swing it in again. Robinson getting some distance on his punch away. Didn't out, punch it out.
He's done well, because if you're going to opt for that, then you have to get distance on it, and he did exactly that.
Obviously disappointed to lose his place to Nigel Martin when the England goalkeeper came back, but it was any reflection on the way he was playing. Just Martin having that little bit of extra experience. It's Colonnesi. Castroman, good ball too. Ravanelli waiting to pounce. That's good covering though by Danny Mills. It's not summer where I'm sitting. Fans of Lazio, I think there are more than that here.
How many layers have you got on? Only 6 tonight?
3 layers of thermals, 3 pairs of socks. Coming up to the 20-minute mark. No scorers yet, 2 chances. Certainly some enterprising football from both teams. Pavel Nedved. Here's the Czech Republic international again. Good play again from Lazio. Dangerous ball towards Ravanelli! What a good finish too! Oh, we rolled back the ears there. That was such a good header from Fabrizio Ravanelli. And the fans, well, there might not be many of them here, but they enjoyed that.
That was beautifully worked. I mean, the cross from Nedved is an absolute peach. I mean, he's played it right on Ravanelli's head. Frankly, he couldn't miss from there, and he just makes sure, like the wily old devil he is, as he gets a chance like that, he's not going to turn it down. But a great delivery in from the Czech. And 1-0.
David O'Leary will be very unhappy in his team's defending there. The marking was sloppy. Ravanelli was perfectly placed. And his second goal in the Champions League was delightfully taken. Owing much to the accuracy on the cross from Nedved, who's just put another couple of million on his transfer fee.
Yeah, I think at times you can make allowances when you've got changes in personnel in a certain area of a team, but you know, Ian Hart, James and Wilcox played with each other quite a few times in the past, and the communication was poor there to let Nedved in round the back, but it was a great delivery. Not so this time from Nedved, but he is a brilliant player.
finest in Serie A. Very rarely does he have a bad game. They actually had to take him off at the weekend, had to sacrifice him, at least that's what was off decided, when Fernando Couto was sent off. That raised a few eyebrows, I can tell you. Now, what have Leeds got in response here? Ian Hart. Now Wilcox has taken the deflection for the corner. Came off Stakovic. Mills on his way up. Matteo is already in there to join Viduka, who of course scored a headed goal last week against Real. The Leeds were so unlucky to go down. That was Matteo. Didn't really get a clean contact on it.
And he should have, because he had a free header. He made a great dart to the front post, got up above everyone else unchallenged, and he should have got better contact on it.
Castrovan just seemed to lose his bearings for a moment here, but he's got away with it. Trying to fend off Ian Hart. But it was a definite chance for Matteo.
I think he knows it only too well. Got away from his man, got above, completely free, and he should have got a better connection to that.
Certainly to see Fernando Couto, who failed to go with it. Well, you can smile with Leeds being in the situation they're in at the moment. Otherwise, he might have been looking a little angered by that. It was a definite opportunity.
Well, now it's going to test characters even more.
It was Mabry's header. Now Stakovic. Battling with Viduka, who has been penalised. Matteo's header, but only to the feet of Pavel Nedved. He is tormenting Leeds at times tonight. Wonderful cross for the goal. And he seems to be everywhere.
Well, he is, because he's got that free role. I think at the moment, actually, Lazio are outnumbering Leeds in midfield. And Nedved can go where he wants, and consequently, he's finding a lot of space and using it well.
Leeds missing the experience of Batty and Dacor, Backer in midfield. This time Lazio have been repelled. They have been threatening to puncture Leeds' resistance on quite a few occasions. With their movement and their interplay, here's Ravanelli. This was by Matteo. Gary Kelly. Longest serving player in this Leeds team. That was Fernando Couto, Castroman. Now Stakovic has Pesaresi in support. And Ravanelli working so hard up front. Not the right selection this time though, and then comes Bojan. Hopefully to send Leeds on their way. Ian Hart, the Irish international, to Viduka. Speculation linking Viduka with Roma at the moment, Colonnese's old club. But he says, no, I'm flattered by it all, but I'm sticking with Leeds. There's so many, there are so many exciting times ahead.
Well, sometimes players can react badly to that kind of speculation. So it'll be interesting to see how Viduka copes overall. But then again, the midfield not been its usual self. Maybe the service won't be as good to him, we'll see.
Matteo will be a target here, along with Viduka. Bowyer's gone near post. There's Harry Kewell for the backstick. Didn't get a contact though, it didn't reach him, and Lazio had the free kick. Burns, who was signed for around $250,000, just as cover really. So he'll be relishing this chance tonight.
That's a big onus on him at times, Peter, because naturally Lee Bowyer is looking to get forward at every opportunity, and sometimes Burns is exposed and he has a lot to cope with. As I say, Lazio, well, they're outnumbering Leeds in that department, and I think they're using the ball a little bit better.
Viduka, who's found some space now, dragging Fernando Couto out of the middle. Good play by Viduka. Maybe trying to over-elaborate there. Here's Castroman. Viduka with 17 goals for Leeds this season. Unbelievably, he was getting some stick from some of the fans here when he was going through that lean spell. furious at that, I know. Here's Kelly off on a run. Nedved almost pulled him down. Play by Maybury and Harry Kuehl here. Bowyer on the near post. Now it's Bowyer. Oh, beautifully done. Oh, that is such a clever goal from Lee Bowyer. And he joins the Champions League's leading scorers this season on 6. A memorable goal.
That's exquisite. It is a gem of a goal when Harry Kuehl heads it. The awareness and the skill to actually lift it over Marchigiani is absolutely tremendous. It really is. He knew exactly what he was doing, and the execution was perfection. That's very, very clever. But then again, we've come to expect that from Lee Bowyer. That's exquisite.
Well, he isn't playing like a man carrying a weight on his shoulders with a court case that is ongoing. He's in a tough day in court today. It's too long for Ravanelli.
He's given a penalty. There was a little tug by Matteo, and the referee spotted it. I think Ravanelli made a bit of a meal of it, but the referee's given a spot kick.
Well, he's chasing through here, clashes with Matteo, and the referee had a good long hard look and says that is a penalty.
I think the initial contact as well was outside the box, but I think Matteo's arm or his hand was still on Ravanelli's back as they drifted into the box. And of course, when a player falls forward, referee's always likely to give the spot kick as opposed to a free kick.
Sinisa Mihailovic will take the penalty kick and has a chance set to restore Lazio's advantage. He's normally pretty lethal from this range. He is again. Lazio go back in front, albeit in controversial fashion. Now what's happening?
It was well executed again, the spot kick. Pretty emphatic. Paul Robinson had no chance. And the reason there was a little altercation again there, Peter, was that Paul Robinson slammed the ball into the celebrating Lazio players, and they reacted to that. But it was sloppy on Dominic Matteo's part, because he allowed Ravanelli get goal side, just got caught out momentarily. Twice now Leeds have lapsed, and that's why we saw the little pullback.
And the yellow card for Dominic Matteo. Mihailovic with the second goal for Lazio after Ravanelli, who scored the first, was brought down. Fernando Couto.
I'll tell you what, I hope it doesn't kick off now, because Gary Kelly was quite late on Ravanelli just now.
Ravanelli is writhing in agony down below us, and again there's a fracas down by the corner flag now. And the Austrian referee needs to step in here and restore order pretty quickly. Who says this match doesn't matter?
Well, do you know, I thought the referee was going to have a quiet one tonight as well. I didn't think he'd be this busy, but there's all sorts going on now.
He needs eyes in the back of his head at the moment. Tempers are becoming decidedly frayed here.
Well, Nedved's had a go at Gary Kelly just now for the late challenge on Ravanelli.
Fernando Couto jumping with Viduka. It's Kuehl. Let's take another look at the incident here that led to the penalty. Well, he did clip it, but he went to grab very easily Ravanelli.
But the thing is, you know, when you're playing against characters like Ravanelli, that they'll make the most of instances like that. I mean, the contact might have been minimal enough, but I always say to defenders, if you raise your hands and you pull a shirt, and the referee's always likely to give a decision against you, and you can't argue with it.
Well, he was in no doubt.
And by the way, I usually stick up for defenders as well, but not there.
You do. Matteo, who was deemed to be the villain of the piece. Here's Ravanelli. Getting a raucous reception now from the Leeds fans. Baronio. He's gone about his work effectively in the midfield. And Lazio, you feel, have dominated. They've outnumbered Leeds at times. Fernando Couto. Now Nedved. Aiming for Ravanelli. This time Ian Hart had the measure of him. A sharp fire behind a bit shot Harry Kewell. They're not getting on too well, those two. Dearly me.
You can't take your eyes off it.
Ian Hart will line this one up. The concern of Marcogiani. He can really drive them in, Ian Hart. As he hopes to emphasise here. Not building him up again.
I'm glad I said nothing on that one. Now, obviously, he wanted to get his foot round it and get a little bit of curl and dip, but didn't quite happen. He just slashed across it in the end. Unlike Ian Hart, he's normally a lot better than that from those situations.
And generally has been back to something like his best form too of late. Ian Hart, after a spell out of the team when O'Leary dropped him. That was Baronio. Now Pesaresi. Miscue then surely by Matteo. He's got away with that. It's too heavy though for Wilcox. Colonnesi is there. Good persistent shout by Viduka. Leeds' commitment is total here. Just checking the league table to make sure this group is all over. They're not playing like it. Here's Pesaresi. Mario Lopez with Stankovic. His opportunities in the senior team in Serie A are few and far between, really. Veron and Dino Baggio are the first choices. Veron, another of those left behind, incidentally. He hasn't made the trip here. But Salas on the bench, remember, and Crespo. Claudio Lopez. Good ball as well. Oh, Castromat couldn't quite take it in his stride. Again, Leeds seem to lose their concentration at the back. Here's Baronio with intelligent distribution to pick out Nedved.
I think somebody's got to be the organisational voice in there now. You're obviously missing people like Decor and Batty, Ferdinand. Somebody's got to take control and start organising things because people aren't been picked up, and David O'Leary won't be happy about that.
So seem to be lacking a leader. Ravanelli. Who's not lacking vocal support of one kind or another. Only about 200 fans have come over from Rome. This is Ravanelli. Clearance was from Mills. Lazio with the lion's share of possession and the lead as well. Claudio Lopez couldn't quite latch on to the return though. Out come Leeds, handball surely met by Nedved. And that has to be a booking.
I can't believe he's gotten away with that. That was as blatant as you like.
Referees don't seem to be too hot on handballs these days, Jim.
Well, he certainly should have had a yellow card for that one.
This is Bowie. Oh, Claudio Lopez with a very clever touch. He's got Ravanelli up with him, might not need him. But no real conviction about the finale there from Claudio Lopez. Fernando Couto, then Nedved to Baronio. That's good play here from Lazio. Nedved, Ravanelli managing to stay onside. It's Stankovic who's made the run. Well-tucked tackle though from Ian Hart to deny him any further progress.
That was good play all round. It was lovely football by Lazio, very, very swift to feet, and good tackle back by Ian Hart. I haven't seen Leeds play at home and bypass midfield so much before, Peter. I think, you know, they're not getting on it in midfield at all, making things happen. They're looking for the early one all the time, and it's not always working out to Kuhl and Viduka. It's breaking down more often than not, and I think Leeds need just try and get a little composure in their play in midfield.
Lopez with a shot that's charged down. Certainly they are missing the inspiration of Dacor, who was absolutely magnificent in the game in Rome. And he did run things from midfield. Now Harry Kuhl, Viduka making a run into the middle, so is Bowyer. Still Kuhl. There's that familiar change of pace, but it didn't deceive Colonnesi. Matteo on the edge of the 18-yard box. Bowyer's gone near post. Did really well to get his header away too.
Oh, he's incredible. I mean, how he gets on the end of things like that. I mean, he's not the biggest in the world. Like a little ferret, always keeps going, and he always seems to be there when it matters. Did extremely well to get that on target. Good ball in, a lot of pace on it. Somebody needs to attack it. Oh, he's done very, very well. Marchigiani well placed, but it's a very good header.
Here's Hart for Leeds. So many outstanding results from them in the Champions League this season. They're really very keen to round things off in this group with another win tonight. It's not proving easy against Lazio. Far from it. Again, it's Bowyer lurking in the centre. Safe handling though by Marchigiani. Rubenelli tangling with Matteo. Then Burns.
I'd like to see Leeds change the play a bit as well. Get Mabry, I mean Bowyer's coming out here to the right side now. Get a little bit of action down here because they're lopsided. Everything's been going down the left so far.
I think the ball was out of play. No, in fact it's an offside decision here. Kelly thinks it's a throw. Danny Mills. Player who has so often excelled in that central defensive role when called upon by Leeds. Mihailovic and Kelly. Stankovic getting mixed up there with Viduka, and it will be a free kick to Leeds. Striving here to get back on level terms. Matteo, he scored that tremendous goal in the San Siro, of course, against Milan back at the first group phase. Hart wanting some movement ahead of him. Kuhl couldn't quite force his way through. Here's Castroman. Leeds do at least seem to have curbed some of his early influence. Oh, he was unmarked in the middle. This is Pesaresi, though. Curtailing the interest of Mabry. Pesaresi again, then Mabry. On to Kuhl. Mihailovic stepping in. Mills under no real pressure here. And he's found Ian Hart. Leeds who've lost only 2 of their last 10 in the Champions League. Harry Harry Kewell linking up well then with Maybury. Just took it too far though, and Fernando Couto had the experience to ward him off, but at the expense of a corner.
That's well done, Alan Maybury. I think Fernando Couto's got a problem. Maybe he's dislocated a finger or something there. Seems to be in a bit of pain. But Maybury did extremely well to force the corner.
He turned very quickly then to wave to the bench. The referee's having none of it.
And like Viduka before, didn't give it up. Correct decision as well. And I think Fernando Couto's just gone down awkwardly and done something to one of his fingers.
Makajani staying at home, and it's fired in by Wilcox, and it's 2-2. Really emphatic finish there on his return to the team. Beaming smile from Wilcox. He's back in business.
Well, we're seeing some very good goals tonight, that's for sure. And again, this was spot on. He has to catch it right, and he catches it perfectly. Not always easy to execute those ones coming at you first time on the volley, right through the legs of Castroman on the post. Can you believe it? Too much pace on it. He can't do anything about it. And I don't think either manager's going to be too pleased about the defending up to now either.
He certainly wasn't marked tight then by Colonnesi. And Wilcox has made it 2-2 at Ellen Road with just a couple of minutes to go in the first half. Castroman, who was on that post, but not really guarding it.
Well, it shouldn't even get that far. I mean, one of your centre-backs should be coming to attack that and get it away. I mean, when Wilcox can volley it in, what, it's about a foot off the ground on the far post, shouldn't get that far.
Ian Hart, as Leeds come marauding forward again. Viduka comes short, to no avail this time. Well, the game has been played, I was going to say in the right spirit. It's been played in the determined spirit, that's for sure.
Without doubt. I mean, that's the one thing they will be pleased about. Of course, Leeds have played better, and everything's relative. The side they've got out tonight, you can't expect it to be that fluid. But the attitude and the approach from Leeds is superb. Keep coming back.
We'll give Lazio credit too. They have not come here simply to lie down. Stankovic. They are playing for their pride, and they are playing with plenty of commitment. So disappointed to be going out of Europe at this stage. Lazio, it was Claudio Lopez, of course, playing for Valencia, who proved to be their undoing last season at the quarter-final level. Valencia going on to the final after a tremendous home display. Back comes Kewell. 1 minute of time to be added on. Mihailovic. Here's Ravanelli. I don't think he'll be too bothered by the abuse he's getting. Some players seem to thrive on it. Not sure you did.
I was never abused, Peter.
Disbelief, I think disbelief.
I was certainly never around here long enough for that. Ravanelli's done well. I mean, it was just a little bit late, the challenge for Stankovic, but you know, he has that style, and he looks as if he's moaning more often than not. But you know, you put it in the mixer, and he'll be there, as he showed on the first goal.
To the last few seconds now of the first half. Duca. Oh, that's good skill too. Fernando Couto almost brought him down. No room for error there. As the first half comes to a close, it's certainly been an interesting 45 minutes. Controversial to some extent. Ravanelli still arguing the toss here with Kelly. Ravanelli giving his team the lead. He was then brought down for the penalty tucked away by Mihailovic, but Leeds had already come back to Lee Bowyer. And then a second equaliser from Jason Wilcox to set up the second half here. It's 2-2 at Elland Road.